Always good to talk to my next guest in studio about things happening at the Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport. Mark Hanna, he is the executive director of the Airport Authority, and he joins us to talk about big news announced this week about Breeze Airways. Mark, take it away. What's the announcement here?
Hey, Greg. Thanks for having me in, and good morning to all your listeners. So, just this week, we announced nonstop service to Orlando International Airport and Tampa International Airport on a brand new startup airline, Breeze Airways. Breeze Airways is coming out of the pandemic, and it was an airline that had plans prior to, and they are really hitting the ground running post-pandemic, and they're actively growing throughout many markets on the East Coast, and they're reaching out to the West, the Western markets as well, and Springfield is the very first airport, Springfield's very first city in the entire state of Illinois to actually be host to this new airline.
That's great.
We're super excited to have Breeze Airways, into Springfield, and they're going to be flying on Mondays and Fridays, and they'll start December 1st out of Springfield's Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport into Orlando, and the Tampa service will start the following Monday on the 4th of December. So super excited. This is a long time coming to add some additional service to the airport. We understand the industry has been challenged with numerous situations with staffing and equipment and fuel and pricing and inflationary pressures all over the place in every sector of the industry, as you and many of your listeners are experiencing throughout the last year or so. So this is a huge win for Springfield. It's actually a great week for Springfield, especially with the development down with Shields Park and the sports complex down there. It's just an awesome week for Springfield, and certainly we hope that this new airline will attract not just local, but regional. There'll be a regional draw from this when we go out and talk to airlines. Of course, we talk about our organic, regional, or immediate demand, and then also we look at the regional demand if they bring in a market that they think will really appeal to the masses as well. And these are destinations that aren't necessarily served directly from Central Illinois. That is right into Orlando International and Tampa International Airport. So Breeze will be flying a 137-seat Airbus 220-300 aircraft. They're brand new airplanes. They're very efficient, they're very quiet, and they have it configured, the aircraft configured into three different fare types: nice, which is your standard economy class, and nicer, it's in the middle of the aircraft, a little bit more legroom, and I believe you get a free check bag with that package. Or nicest is their first class package. The Ascent package, or nicest, I believe you get two free check bags, free snacks and drinks and all that type of stuff, and a lot more legroom. So they do offer a first class option. I know that there are a lot of people that do enjoy the additional legroom, the priority boarding, and things of that nature. So while they are in the industry considered a ultra low cost carrier, they really dub themselves as the first nice low cost carrier in the United States, and because they do offer a number of travel options within the cabin, and also they allow free cancellations 15 minutes. If something happens and you have to cancel your trip or rebook it, they will allow you to cancel and delay your trip, and they'll give you credit for up to 15 minutes prior to your departure. So they really want to offer the flexibility, and they're really steering people toward their app and their website, flybreeze.com. And they really are geared toward customer service, and they made a point to tell me that, yes, they do have the chat rooms, and put your information in if you have a question about your flight or some type of situation that you may encounter throughout your travels. there is a real person behind that communication with you in the chat. So it's not like you're just going to a bot and going through 18,000 different questions before it gets directed to the right person. So they do have real people managing their customer service, and they know that a lot of people have devices and phones and things of that nature, and that's where they want to provide accessibility for their customers, because when you're traveling on the fly, it's a lot easier, and you're not going to be on hold for 15 hours straight. You put in your situation, and they'll be back in touch with you, through the chat process.
Mark Hanna is the executive director of the Springfield Airport Authority, here with us in studio talking about Breeze Airways and the options now coming to Springfield starting December 1st. You've got 2 locations. They're going to be flying down to Florida. Talk about how that adds to the other flights out of Springfield that there are currently in place.
Yeah, absolutely. Excuse me. American Airlines is flying twice daily to Chicago's O'Hare International Airport, and we cannot discount the importance of what we call the industry the network carrier. That's American Airlines. You fly to Chicago, you can virtually connect anywhere. And of course, our beloved Allegiant Airlines, who's been with us for well over a decade, flying down to Punta Gorda, Florida, as we know that there is a large affinity to that Gulf Coast of Florida right here in Springfield, in our immediate region, into Fort Myers Beach, Naples, Marco, and even points further to the north. And also, Sunseeker is a brand new resort that Allegiant is opening up, and it's going to be stone's throw from the Punta Gorda Airport as well. So Allegiant continues to be a very important partner for us, and a very well-traveled carrier to that destination down in Florida. These 2 destinations will help. They'll augment that. In the industry, we feel activity breeds activity. More people through the terminal, more people looking at the options, more people seeing how easy it is to get to the Springfield Airport, through the doors, through security. You dwell at the secure lounge for a little bit, you board your flight, and you're on your way to nonstop direct right into Tampa and or Orlando International, which we really feel are very convenient options for travelers, vacationers that want to get in close proximity to Walt Disney World, the theme parks, and those very popular destinations. And we also have heard a number of folks talk about using this service for business travel back and forth to Florida for various remote offices that businesses, corporations may have in Springfield, or vice versa, to use this as an alternative to other means of travel.
This really is going to be just absolutely fantastic, especially for people looking for that quick getaway to Florida. And you got a promotional price right now that, how long is that, $49 one way? How long does that last?
You have to book by the end of September and fly before, I believe, the end of April. So we really encourage people to get on their phones, download the app, and really shop around and see if you can find something that works for you and your family. But they also have a feature, too, where you can group families together as well. So they don't like to split families up throughout the aircraft as well. So they will work with you and your loved ones to get you seated together as well. So take advantage of that great airfare. There are a lot of different options with this airline, and if this works, the data says that it will. We have a large number of people that want, need, and do fly to Orlando, and we know in our region, when you're flying to Orlando but not flying out of the Springfield Airport. So we have that data, and that is why these destinations are top of our list, because we understand that that's where people want to go. And in this industry, a lot of it is about timing. Does the aircraft have the availability, the pilots, the resources, and of course the the local community too is very much engaged. The Springfield Segment Growth Alliance to really make this thing work for everybody.
Just a few things here that I do want to touch on real quick before we let you go. We'll talk about a promotion that Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport's doing with our sister stations, where you can win a trip as a grand prize to Las Vegas. We'll touch on that, but Mark, it's not just the commercial air flights out of Springfield, right? It's the training that Lincoln Land's doing. It's the focus of getting young people into aviation. I mean, it's such an asset here in Springfield, the capital city, to have those things on location so we can fill the future with those future jobs.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We can't say enough good things about our federal delegation who help us with the federal programs that we can maximize the efficiency and effectiveness of those programs to help with our modernization, preservation of our infrastructure. But you're exactly right. And we hope as many people as possible were able to come out to the 75th anniversary open house to see all that there is beyond air service at the airport with Lincoln Land Community College airframe and power plant. In addition to pilots, AvTechs, aviation technicians, are in very high demand across the industry. And you graduate that school 18 months program. You can go a mile across the airport, and you're ready to go right into the workforce with Standard Aero at a nearly head of household wages and salaries. Standard Aero themselves are a huge impact to the community. Many people don't think or forget or may not recognize that they have hundreds of employees out there at the airport. They're going to have some exciting announcements coming out in October about the partnership with the airport and how we're doing some major multi-million-dollar renovations to their facility. And a little tickler for your listeners, we feel that we may have a very significant announcement coming mid to late October as well about training students and future aviation professionals. So that there's a lot going on, and we just kicked off that large solar farm out of the north side as well that will serve, and it's offered Standard Aero to recommit to Springfield for the long term as well. So there's a lot of good things going on, and we will these two routes with Breeze, we will grow with Breeze. They will look at additional routes once these two routes, what they feel good about the trajectory and what they call the booking curve, how well they book out into the future, and they do have room to grow. So certainly we know that there are destinations out west that people would love to connect to nonstop direct from Springfield.
Fantastic stuff. Mark Hanna, he is the executive director of the Springfield Airport Authority. And while we've got you here, just want to tell people about what our sister stations are doing, including QLZ. If you go to WQLZ.com, you can see the QLZ Pro Football Challenge that the Lincoln Capital Airport is sponsoring. And actually, all you got to do is make some picks, and if you get those picks, you're entered to win. And the huge prize is they're going to have a 5-day, 4-night trip to Las Vegas. All right, a 5-day, 4-night trip to Las Vegas is the grand prize. That's awesome. Second place gets a $500 rebate through Fly SPI, and that can get you to a lot of places. So be sure to head over and register today at WQLZ.com or at our sister station, The Lake, or at WNNS. So make that happen. Mark, again, thank you so much for taking time. We'll talk again soon, all right?
Hey, thanks so much, Greg.
It is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's